Welcome back to Growing a Deeply Rooted Business, the podcast where intentional strategy meets sustainable systems.
We're so glad you're here. I'm Jess, your systems architect and Notion obsessed strategist who truly believes that systems are self-care.
And I'm Rachel, your email marketing mastermind. I'm all about building marketing ecosystems that actually work with the intentional strategy and, you guessed it, all things email at the heart of it.
Together, we're on a mission to help women entrepreneurs like you build businesses that are both profitable and purpose-driven. We know you want success, but not at the cost of your health, relationships, or personal joy.
Exactly. And that's why every episode we're diving into intentional marketing strategies, sustainable systems, and a really good launch strategy that doesn't leave you burned out.
Whether you're refining your operations, planning your next launch, or figuring out how to make your marketing work smarter, not harder, we've got you covered.
So grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's grow something deeply rooted together.
Let me just tell you about the kind of restaurants I do not trust. And tell me if you resonate with this. So there is a hard no for me on restaurants that serve multiple different, I guess what is it, like cuisines in one place. Like, so if you've ever been to a restaurant that has like burritos and pad thai and beef stroganoff. I actually made this mistake last night where I was at a place where you really shouldn't order a pasta dish because it was not an Italian place. And it was more of a burgers and fries joint, but I was feeling fancy and I was fully disappointed with the pasta. It was very dry. It was a very dry sauce. I don't even know how you have a dry sauce. Anyway, how does this have to do with business?
Yeah. And then that leads you to and that leads you to order pancakes because you're just and then you're very sad with your choices. I've been there too. And the same thing can happen in your business when you have way too many things and offers on your menu. Today, we're going to be talking about why having more offers does not always mean having more money and how simplifying can actually unlock revenue and relief in your business.
So this is actually going to be part of our 5-part Business Detox Series to help you simplify so that you can sustainably scale your business. So we're starting with the offer detox. So before we get into it, let's just do a quick little symptoms check. So you might need an offer detox. If you have 3 to 6 offers, but none of them are consistently selling, you keep thinking, maybe if I just add one more offer, everything in my business will start clicking and I'll start bringing in bank. And your website reads like a buffet instead of a clear pathway.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into the first one. So why more offers drains you and does not necessarily help you scale. We have typically been taught to kind of like add and like expand your offer suite, and that in turn equals more income stream and all of that. Or maybe you are in the habit, and I've had a lot of clients do this, where they have a client ask for something, and so they create a brand new product for them, or they have an idea and say, oh, let's create this for these people. And you end up creating these very complex layers in your business that ultimately you have to plan for and you have to maintain. And it's like those brand new processes that your brain's constantly having to kind of like switch back and forth with. So one offer, to just simplify it, means one marketing message. 5 offers means you then have to support those 5 various buyer's journey and ultimately leads you to being one very tired entrepreneur. So again, we're not trying, like the goal here is freedom, right? We are not trying to be super complex in all of these different areas of our business. And we really want to make sure we're reducing the amount of tabs that are open in our brain, because I know that we all desperately need that.
Yeah, I mean, you came at it from the marketing aspect, and it's definitely harder to market, different offers. I think though, with the systems aspect makes it even harder as well. And I'm kind of feeling this right now. Like I feel if anyone needs an offer detox in the world, it is me. It is me. Mine is a buffet, but what is making it very hard right now for me to be able to scale, and we were just having a very long conversation about this, is like for each different service or offer that I provide for my customer now, I'm needing to go back step by step by step by step and break it down and write instructions for every single thing that I
Mhm.
do. So the way that we do a quiz, which our quiz service is pretty streamlined, because I thought when I was gonna go down to just one offer, but then how do we build a Notion workspace? How do we do this? So it's
Mhm.
trying to like my note, I have like tons of documentation, and it's harder because I'm not able to kind of bring on one person with like the specialty to do everything that I need to do to be like a little mini me, because it was so broad right now. So what I'm having to do kind of is go back and really streamline and decide which offers kind of need to stay and which ones will need to go. I don't think this means like you have to like completely stop doing things, like maybe on the back end, like it happens to do it, but it's not something that like you're advertising or that you're leading on. Like you definitely need like a hero offer.
Truth. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think it's one of those things that like if somebody does come to you, like you have a client from 5 years ago comes back and be like, "Hey, I want to rebuild this and I don't really see it on your website." Like you ultimately have the decision to say yes or no, but like you're not saying 10 different leads are coming at me every single month for 4 different projects and I'm now overwhelmed, scattered, and all of that. So I think in reality, like your leads are coming and they're craving clarity, right? A confused buyer does not buy, period. Like, if that's the one thing you take away from that, like, that's this. They want direction. They want you to be able to guide them through whether that's your marketing bridges, your customer journey, and all of that. So, I think that that's where this kind of analogy of the overwhelming menu comes in, where it's saying, like, you may be able to say, I am a jack of all trades or the Jill of all trades, but like that's exhausting for not only you, but the person to sit there and be like, oh my gosh, do I want this? Do I want that? Do I want this? And then ultimately, like, I'm just going to get pancakes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, and then just going back to like the mental load or the load on your business brain, I think a lot of my clients have like this like aha moment. They'll come to me because they're like, oh, I need systems and that's going to make everything okay. And we'll dig into and start systemizing. I always start with client delivery first. And I'm like, okay, so let's talk about your offers and all the different things that you have to do, like I said, to write the SOPs, to do the automations. Every time you add a new offer, you're adding now like 15 more steps when you begin to like systemize and bring on team members. So you can't kind of like willy-nilly, like you were freelance and like do things that were custom. So I think really making sure that your offer suite kind of makes sense. It fits the customer journey when they're coming in, and then it kind of allows you to grow with them as well.
Yeah, especially since we speak to a lot of like solopreneurs and like I definitely identify as a solopreneur in my business. You having to wear the hats of content creation and client onboarder and customer success manager and all of those various things that fractures your focus ultimately and results in like your energy being able to be like split in 100 different directions, which doesn't allow you to like do one thing really well with your time. So I think that that's also something that like the crack it gets really cracky if you continue to just like live in this space
Yeah,
too.
and I mean, I think it's not even just like the offers too. I think one of the things or one of the through lines, if you want to have different price points of offers, is really just establishing your framework for having a transformation. So if I have a framework for creating high converting quizzes, then I can use that framework and I can translate it into like a lower ticket course or a templated like service or a completely custom service. And it's kind of all the framework. My marketing can kind of be speaking to all the different things, but I'm not like talking about like 8 different
Mhm.
topics kind of thing. Or when we were trying to figure out our offer suite for this, it's like, okay, so we have our business planner. Now, what's kind of like the problem after that we need to like solve for that same specific person?
Totally. All right, so let's get into the first step of the detox, which is the offer audit. Just take it away.
Okay, so offer audit. And when I talk about offers, I count free offers as well. So lead magnets as well, low ticket, high ticket. So I want you kind of just to write down everything that you sold, not even everything that's on your website last year. Like go back through your invoices and see everything that you sold. Because if you're doing custom things, you are probably like making up some things that's not all going to be on your website. And then really ask yourself, like, if I could sell one thing this year, what would it be? Like, what do I enjoy like doing? What do I want to lead with? What do I want to guide people towards? And really pick that one thing. And then from there, you kind of reverse engineer and you could create like a low ticket offer that kind of leads people into that offer, or a freebie that leads people into this offer. So I think we're kind of going with like depth of our like offer versus like breadth of what we're doing.
Yeah. And I think like the offer audit, like this is the first step or one of the first steps in our assess portion of the rooted in reality planner. And like the thing that I found to be so like, I don't know, just real, like again, reality. Like I like to think, I like to sit over here in not reality land and be like, oh, I love the offers I was doing 4 years ago versus like the strategies now that like, you know, we can be building and all of that. So that may not have made any sense to anybody else that wasn't a part of my annual planning reflection process, but the reflection aspect of it is to sit there and be able to say like I can be really profitable on this, but it drained the life out of me. And having those two, like the overlap of those two is necessary for business planning because you do not want to continue to do things just because they're profitable, but like have you hating your business and have you like dreading signing new clients because like that manifests into how you show up in your marketing and how you the energy that people are picking up on whether or not they should be booking discovery calls and all of that. So like those two, I think that's left out of the planning process typically is that overlap of like reflection, right? Like very profitable, but hated it. Like that needs to be up in the audit for discussion, or else you really are just like rinsing and repeating and like not giving yourself a lot of opportunity for growth and for the thing that could be lighting you up and extremely profitable.
Yeah. And just kind of going back to like how people get into the situation, because this is something that actually comes up a lot when I'm working with my dietitians and we begin like we realize, oh, they've got too many offers or they're doing kind of custom things for everyone. They're giving this person this test, this person this test. I think that one, if you're going to want other practitioners or service providers to work under you, you need to have a framework for how you're delivering your item, like, and how you're delivering and how you're creating that transformation. And people will get into the trap of like, oh, like, well, this person only wants to work with me 3 months and I have a 6-month package. Like, you need to stand in your authority that you know it takes 6 months to get that result, that it's not going to take 3 months. Because if you end up signing to 3 months and they're thinking they're going to get the transformation from the 6 months, then you've kind of just made a really bad referral for later down the line because they're either going to have to extend working with you. But that's kind of what I tell them, like, if you know it's going to take them 6 months to address whatever health issue that they're having, then you have to have a 6-month package. And you just kind of have to tell them that. I think that builds some authority. If you know these are the tests I need to see and the only test I need to see, then those tests need to be part of your package, you know? And if you know, like, in month 1, we do this, and then I like to see them every other week, or, you know, they're always like, do I see them bi-week, whatever. How many times do you need to see them to give that result? You know, probably the least amount of time as possible is what you want to be aiming for. But like, you have to have your framework, and so much more authority comes from being able to like stand in your power of like, I know what I'm doing. This is how I get a result. This is how long it's going to take. And these are the things that we're going to need to be able to get here. And that's a lot different than having just like a burrito Chinese pad thai menu. Like, you're gonna have so much trust and authority in that. Like, I would so much rather, like, I will not go to like one of those like Asian restaurants that have like every different like Thai, Chinese, Japanese. Like, I don't trust you. Like, if I want Japanese, I'm going to a Japanese restaurant. They're like, they want to heal their gut. They're coming to you because you know the exact time and how to do it and what I'm going to need to do it. So I think simplifying is really how you're going to get known for something and how you're going to be able to scale, because your marketing is going to be easier. Your systemization is going to be easier. And I've seen it happen. I have one client. She went from, I'm just telling 10K months to 50K months. She has one offer,
Yeah.
1 month offer.
Amazing.
It's streamlined. We were able to hire more practitioners once she got fully booked. There was a process. Everybody goes through the same thing. It's not chaotic. It's a wonderful life to live in. I need to figure out how to do this. Like I said, I feel like the biggest hypocrite because I do quizzes and then I do Notion build outs and then I do launches. But I love doing all of those things. But it's just going to be it's going to take me a lot longer to be able to like systemize each of
Yeah.
those.
And to ramp all of those components up to really, like, again, build that momentum. Like, every single time you deliver a quality service to somebody, that's momentum building. And you can't do that when your brain is split, being like, oh, well, I have to, like, for me specifically, I have to do newsletters over here. Oh, shoot, I got to do abandoned carts over here. And like, oh, I got to focus on tagging strategies over here. Like, everything really does require your like attention in a way that directly results the client experience. And so that client experience, if it, gets easier to sell when you have better experiences from your client, you become well-known specifics into your niche. If you're talking about a very specific thing, like just as saying like gut health, we know to go to this person, and like, core flows, maybe that's me, or lead magnets, maybe, whatever the case may be. And so when you really do simplify back into a space that allows you to just shine, it gives you so much more relief. And if you're that type of person, which I know this is for Jess, like I'm speaking directly to Jess, you're like, when I'm going to get bored and I have all of these ideas, channel that elsewhere, channel that someplace else.
I cannot. Well, yeah. Well, and also I can't remember. It's in 4 Hour Work Week, and I don't know the quote, but I will give you like the gist of what Tim Ferriss says. Basically, it's like his first business or his first offer was built just so he could get it set up, get it running on its own, and then he could move on to the next thing. So that's kind of like we know people that have multiple passions and multiple businesses, multiple different offers, but it's like you have to do like that focus first of like set up, get this one running, get known for this, and then you can kind of like break off into it, into the next things. Like pick one thing to focus on first. And then if you want, when you have the capacity, when you have the leverage, when you have the budget to be able to invest in something else, then you can kind of pour resources into the next thing that you want, but start with one.
So let's go ahead and wrap this up. So if any of this resonated, or maybe you're sitting there staring at your blank page on your planning process and being like, man, should I keep this? Should I not keep this? One, we encourage you to just go ahead and grab the Rooted in Reality Business Planner. It is by far the most comprehensive, easy to go through document that will help you get 10 steps ahead versus staring at a blank page of being like, what do I continue to do? What do I retire? If you enjoyed this episode, we invite you to join the detox, because we are going to be breaking down so many other components of your business. Next is going to be the marketing bridges, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the marketing bridges. And share this episode with a business bestie, have them go through it with you. We're in that January energy, even though sometimes January still means to be a frozen crop and still be rotting. But like, we'll get to that later.
Your year starts when you say it does.
Your year starts when you say it does. Facts. So
facts.
Share this episode with the business bestie. Leave us a review. It really does help more people find the podcast, and we would love to hear from you. If you have followed along with this process, what's one offer you're thinking about retiring? If you already have simplified down, share with us, what is your main dish in your business, and what is the offer that you have doubled down on? We would love to see it. We would love to hear more about it. So until next time,
Love to refer people to it. And until next time,
we're rooting for you.